Good day, good evening, my wonderful friends. Today we're going to play a great song by the Moody Blues. Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I've always missed, with these eyes before. And just what the truth is, I can't say anymore. And I love you, etc. Now, I'll have a crack at that chorus a little bit later on when my vocals settle in. But for now, let's just get on with the verses. Okay, so what I want you to do, I'd like you to download your free idiot-proof paperwork by clicking the link below. You can't miss it. If you don't see it straight away, click the More button and it'll be there, because there's usually a little bit of blurb telling you about the song, all right? So there's the shapes that we're going to use. Now, we're going to use the chord F in this, but please don't panic. There's two different inversions of it that we can use for those beginners, because this is a beginner's lesson. So although I've written it down as a bar chord, you don't have to play a bar chord. We can get around it, so stick with this. And as I say, it's a beautiful, beautiful song. Okay, so we've got the all the chords there, and then we've got the actual song itself written out with the, as I always do, making sure that the correct chord corresponds with the lyric. You don't tend to see that in books because they assume you would know, and why would you if you're a beginner? Right, before we go any further, as always, I'd like to thank those people that donate to my little channel. They can either buy me a cup of tea by clicking the thanks button below. They can join me on Patreon, my Patreon platform, which they get a lot of behind the scenes stuff, studio stuff I do. Or you can buy a piece of merchandise. I've got an album. This is the last album I made, called Junction 39. I've got a brand new one coming out called Puncture the Moon. That's out on vinyl and download. You can order it now. All the links are below, so check them out. But even if, you know, the most important thing is to do a thumbs up, circulate these things, and subscribe, please, if you haven't already done so. All right. So, shall we begin? Let's have a look at our page 1. Let's have a look at the shapes that we're going to find in this song, shall we? We've got a nice, I'm playing it on a 12 string, by the way, only because my 6 string, one of them downstairs, and I can't be bothered going all the way back down. So you can do this beautifully on a 6 string. If you want to get it to sound like a 12 string, just, if you've got an amp, or if it's amplified, you can amplify, add a little bit of chorus and a little bit of reverb, okay? I show you how to do those sorts of things on Patreon. I don't do it on YouTube because there's a lot of people aren't that interested, but for those people that are, that's where you find all that behind the scenes stuff. So we've got an E minor, we've got a D, remembering never to play the bass string when you're playing a D. We always mute it, okay? Or press it in at the 2nd fret, or just don't hit it. We've got a C. Now you can either play your C as a full C like this, or you can play it like that. If you're going to play it like that with the 3 fingers, try to avoid again striking the 6th string. It's not a wrong note, but it overpowers the actual chord C. Then we've got a G, which I always play like this. We've got an F. Now this, I'm going to play it as a bar, but we don't have to do it as a bar. From that G there, you'll have heard me talking about this in the last lesson when we were looking at those folky chords. There's our G there. If we play our G like this, we can bring these 2 fingers down to there. And you know, like the Hide Your Love Away lesson, it's actually an F add 9. You can get away with that, you know, so we would go. Letters I've written, never meaning, and it sounds beautiful. In fact, I think it sounds better. But I put the F there anyway, because that's, you know, never meaning, never meaning, never. An F major 7th doesn't really work, but the F add 9 definitely does. Okay? So we do have a nice little cheat that we can do. Or you can do a 4-string version of the F like that. Or you can do a 5-string version of the F like this, making sure you don't play the bass notes. But I would say, for those people struggling, you know, that's probably the nicest one. 1, 2, 3. It's in the Hide Your Love Away vid that we did last week. Then we get to our chorus, which I bottled out of because I didn't want to croak too much because it's in a high key. We've got an A and then a C, and that's it, and they're all the chords, all right? Very simple structure to this song, but most great songs, as I've told you before, are simple, all right? And our strum, it's a waltz. It's a bit like Hide Your Love Away. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And it's quite laid back, it's quite slow. So the first thing we'll do is just get used to our. Now you'll notice when I play it, I do little embellishments because we've got strings and all that sort of stuff. And we can actually give the impression that they're playing, like for example, when you're playing this as E minor, hear that now? If you were to play a D, not all the way through it, but now and again, take this finger off. Especially in those chorus bits. Get the idea. We'll look at all this in a bit more detail as we go along. So, the introduction again. Strum 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Look at the introduction. We're on this now. We'll have had a look at our shapes and we'll begin. We've got a bar of E minor. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, the way I've written this out, rather than clutter it up with loads of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I want you to just in your head count to. I've written it out so there's like 2 bars in one, if you like. So this here would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Otherwise there'd be tons and tons of chords. But keep, as I say, in order to keep it simple, just think of it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do it like that, okay? So each bar represents, just count to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 1. Rather than go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It doesn't matter how you remember it, as long as you remember it. So let's do the intro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Begin the song. Nights in the white satin. 4, 5, 6. Never reach empty hand. Say letters of J written. So that F, never meaning to send. Now I'll do the next verse, but I'll play the bar next time. Now when I do this, I'm going to put like a little fiddly bit in, and I'll show you how to do that in a sec when I played it. Beauty I've always missed with these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so just to recap: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, why am I doing it like that? Because I don't want to write tons and tons of chords all over the top. All right. So it's the best way of doing it. And in your head, whenever you see a chord shape, just count to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. And that way, it's the same thing as writing it out twice, as long as you know what it is. So what was I doing on that little embellishment? There's a string line that goes da 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 dum, jiggy jiggy dum, jiggy jiggy dum, jiggy jiggy da 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 dum. And it's nice to be able to play that. And all it is, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, da. And I'll do that slowly. I'm on the D. We come down for the D. Bring this finger off. Put it back on. Add your little finger. Take it off. So I'll do that again slowly. I'm going to try and highlight the second string as I come down. La, da, da, ba, ba, ba. And I always come off as I'm changing, as you know, changing back to the chord that I need to get to. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Ba 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 ba. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then to a C. Just what the truth is. And then come down to this F. Now remember, as I mentioned in the last video, if you are going to use that F add 9, you must not play the 5th string or the 6th. It's important that you don't. How do we do it? Well, on a 12 string it's a little bit more problematic because you've got to try and damp 2 notes. But you damp the bass string with your thumb, and then you would damp your 5th string with this 3rd finger. Sitting on the 4th string, just let it sit on top of the string a little bit, thus rendering the 5th string mute. Okay, so I'll do that again from the C. Just what the truth is, I can't take anymore, and then we get to the bit with the vocal, and I, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes, I'll love you, C, oh, how I love you, and that's when you've got those strings, we can pull those notes out of these chords, as I mentioned before. E minor, and that's a D sus 2. What's that mean? It's just D with that finger off. And I try to put the full stop on that by hitting the 2nd string. And off we go again. All right, let's do that chorus again. So here we are, the chorus. Remember, each of these chords represents 6 beats, 2 lots of 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Best way to remember it. Okay, some of the things I explained to you might not be theoretical in a musical sense, you know, but when you're playing, most guitar players, we don't read music, we sort of play by rhythms, and that's how we sort of work. Okay, because we haven't got time to be thinking on, you know, thinking about too much theory. We don't want to be looking at bits of paper. We don't want to do any of that. We're going to carry as much information in our head as possible. And this is the way we tend to do it as guitar players. Classical players, they tend to read. Jazz players tend to read. The rest of us, you know, we carry all the info in here. It's better if you can. So again, let's recap the strum. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But on my paperwork, I put 2 bars together, so we're going to count it as a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The introduction and the majority of the verses comprises of 2 chords, E minor and D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then we begin our song. Nights in white satin, never reaching the end to see. Letters F to a G, played like this if you can. Written to an F, either a bar or a simplified 5 string, or the one I mentioned before, which is an F add 9. It's a 4 string version, which I strongly recommend you beginners do. Never reaching the end to verse 2. Beauty I've always missed. Now that's when I leave this 2nd finger off. Beauty I've always missed, with these eyes before. See just what the truth is, I can't take anymore. To chord A, and I love you. Build it. Yes, I love you. Oh, how I love you. Gazing at people, and so on. I'm sorry about the the croaky chorus. What I would normally do is I would, if I was playing it live, I've detuned this a couple of frets, you know. Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Just what the letters I've read on, never meaning to send. Beauty I've always missed with these eyes before. And just what the truth is, I can't say anymore. So what have I done? Well, I always have a guitar that's tuned down the equivalent of 2 frets. And somebody asked me, what does that mean? Well, if you look at my little tuner here, so that would be a D or thereabouts. That would be a G instead of an A. That would be a C instead of a D. The 3rd string would be an F instead of a G. The B would be an A instead of a B. And the top string, the E, would be a D, as is the bass string. Why would I do it? Well, I'm getting old. I'm getting old now, and I don't want to be screeching my head off trying to hit notes that I could easily do when I was 21 that I can't do now. So rather than soil my trousers or something equally bad, I detune the guitar. All right, so I'll leave you with that image. It's gone from my head now into yours. Download all your stuff. All right, remember the rhythm. There we are, there it is. And what I would always recommend is that everything's here, even the flute solo. Oh, let me just do that for you. I haven't done that yet. Okay, I meant to do it. I got carried away. So we got a flute solo. So there's a E minor, D, C, B. There's a B7th in there. Did I put B7th on here? No, I didn't. So you'll have to know what B7th is. Let me just show you. B7th. Okay. Look at one of my earlier lessons, you'll see it. So the flute solo. E minor, D, C, B7th. And again, E minor, D, C, B7th, E minor, C, E minor, C, A minor, B7th, A minor, B7th, and then back to the E minor, D. Okay, you know, come on, you know what B7th is? Okay, just in case those out there don't. First finger on the 4th string at the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the 5th string, the 2nd fret. Okay, miss one, and then play the 3rd string at the 2nd fret, miss one, and then play your 1st string down there, making sure you must mute the bass strings. Now remember, anyone watching this, seasoned players, don't forget this lesson is for those people who haven't been playing long. It's a Wednesday lesson, a beginner's lesson, so forgive me if I'm teaching me granny to suck eggs, you know what I mean. Okay, and A minor, of course you'll know. So there we are. Nights in White Satin, a beautiful song. Remember, if you're like me and you're sort of getting on in years and you don't want to be straining your voice, etc., then detune your guitar by 2 frets. Okay, so there we are. Thank you very much again for the people who donate to the channel. It's very much appreciated. Buy an album, there's a couple of albums for sale at the bottom, or join me on Patreon for some of that background stuff. All right, so I'll see you on Saturday, live stream Saturday. All right, I'll see you soon. Oh no, what day is it? I don't know, forget what I've just said. I'll see you next time. Take care.